President Ramaphosa has approved a 3% increase. Now, who's it going to apply to? Who's going to get the money? Well, ministers, deputy ministers, members of parliament, and provincial office bearers. It will see deputy ministers earning just over 2 million rand a year. Not bad. Now, joining us to discuss it is Reuben Maleka from the Public Servants Association, or PSA. Reuben, good morning to you. Good to have you on ENCA. Why do public servants deserve to get this much money?
Yeah, good morning, Gareth, and the viewers of ENCA. First of all, we are very, very much concerned about such an approval for payment of 3% to public office bearers. You'll recall that in our Constitutional Court judgment, that is of 28 February this year, when we as public servants did not receive our salary of 2018, one of the most strong arguments of that judgment is affordability, saying that at this point in time, government is not in a position to afford what was already a signed resolution of 2018 that was due in April 2020. So it's an irony today to hear that judges and the public office bearers would receive 3% in the midst of the same judge or judges that have said that government is not obliged to pay because it is not in the space of affordability and in the space of COVID. More ways that they even emphasized the fact that majority of South Africans have lost jobs. There's a high rate of unemployment. Therefore, government employees do not deserve their increase that was due in April 2020, just before even COVID. So we are concerned that at this point in time, and we believe that the public office bearers, including judges, who do honorable thing, they'll reject the approved 3% by the president to show cause and support of the constitutional judgment of 28 February to the public servants.
And I'm sure you'll agree as well. We worked out the maths a little bit earlier. For public servants, in this case, ministers, deputy ministers, as I mentioned, to see a deputy minister earning just over 2 million rand per year, Reuben, let me just remind viewers what that works out to per month. It's about 166,000 rand. That's an awful amount of money for any one individual, especially in the public sector, to be earning. I would imagine that your organization actually thinks this is a bit of an insult. It's not just offensive, it's an insult to those who can't put food on the table.
Absolutely, Gareth. One thing for sure that we know is that already the public office bearers, the parliamentarians, have access to resources such as housing. The one thing that most of the public servants cannot afford is housing, medical aid. They have all this that I'm mentioning for free. So we cannot, in this juncture, allow or accept any such an allowance or such an 3% afforded to parliamentarians. That at the same time, it is also embarrassing because if you listen to the news, you watch the news, the whole time, citizens, we have been subjected to just noise and no debates in parliament. Therefore, you ask yourself, how could the people that spend 8 hours or even more than 8 hours just to make noise without any actual outcome would deserve a 3%? And we have been saying all the time that we have been told that public service wage bill is bloated. And we have been saying it is not true. It is not us as public servants. It is not teachers. It is not police officers, correctional officers. The bloated part of it is with the public office bearers. And from time to time when they speak, it is as if it's public servants who are the actual, foot soldiers in the public service. The problem here that we are sitting with is the public office bearers that are not being counted, but look at what is happening today. They get a 3%, while we got 0%, while we've been told that we must tighten our belts, we should not even get increase for the next 4 years.
Do you think office bearers deserve any increase whatsoever? Reuben, do you think office bearers deserve to get any extra money whatsoever?
Look, definitely they don't deserve any increase at this point in time. In fact, we are at a stage that we ask ourselves, why do we have so many of them in parliament? Because the question is that if we could afford so many people to sit in parliament, where we can't actually, as citizens, feel their outcomes or any work that they are doing for us, then Why should we have them? Because at this point in time, we are short of staff in the public service. Look at the rate of the vacancies. Look at the number of shortage of police officers on the ground. And while we are sitting with a number of more than 400 parliamentarians that, in fact, at this point in time, we have seen in the past weeks, they spend 2-3 days. Just actually, you can't even listen to the radio because it's just, noise. There's no arguments, there's no debates. You ask yourself, why must, as taxpayers, pay people to make noise for 3 days in Parliament?
Then tell me, what is PSA going to do about this? Because this is upsetting a lot of South Africans. Does PSA have any planned actions? Do you have any kind of legal avenue you want to explore? What's your plan as Public Servants Association? Last question.
Look, we are going to write to the president to reconsider that approval. In the midst of all things that we have said, the affordability that it was already in the judgment of the Constitutional Court of 28 February. Secondly, on the high rate of unemployment in the country. Thirdly, the cost of living that is actually impacting the lower levels of South Africans, including public servants. That, in fact, they should be thinking of diverting the 3% that they're giving to include it on the already 4.5% that they're giving us as public servants, so that at least we can caution the past years that we have not received any increase. That is the plan that we are having, and failing which, obviously, as you know, we already started embarking in the strike action in SARS, and soon, if we don't find a solution for us in the public service, we are going to see the biggest public service strike, including SARS, going forward to shut down the public service, because it looks like the only language that is listened to is a strike action.
It seems to be the way that we get government officials to listen in the country with communities, is to start protesting. Everything else doesn't seem to work according to communities. Reuben, Maleka, thank you very much from the Public Servants Association of South Africa.